look at the warm-up, the reason why I chose these two problems is because on some of your mini quizzes that I graded from last class, I saw a lot of the same common mistakes, and so I wanted to address those errors here. Alright, for number 1, so it says to solve and graph each inequality and write your answer in set builder notation. For number 1, well, for both these, it's called a compound inequality, but which type is number 1? It's an and, good. So when we're solving number 1, we are trying to get x by itself. What would be my first step to get x by itself? Subtract 5. I saw a lot of people first added 2, and then you got 0 is less than negative x plus 7, which is less than 4, and then you guys were kind of stuck there. We're trying to get x by itself, so we're kind of trying to get rid of the things in the middle here. So don't be trying to get rid of stuff on the outside. We're trying to get rid of what's in the middle so we can get x all alone.
Is there anyone that needs to be stamped off that did not get stamped?
Alright, so as Elroy said, we subtract 5. So we need to subtract 5 from every single part of my inequality. Some of you were only doing it to 2 parts of it. We have 3 different pieces here. If it helps you out, go ahead and draw that line through your inequality here to separate it. Alright, so when we subtract 5, we get negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7, still less than negative x, positive 5 and negative 5 cancel out, less than, and 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Alright, but is x all alone? No, what do we have to get rid of? The negative 1. And you guys did much better at getting rid of your negative 1s than you have in times past. So how do we get rid of this negative 1? Very good, Natalie. We divide by negative 1. And again, we have to do this to all 3 pieces. Okay. Now, when we multiply or divide by negative, what do we have to do? Jason Donato. When we multiply or divide by negative, what do we have to do? Flip the sign. Good. So negative 7 divided by negative 1 is positive. Perfect. Is positive 7. So we have positive 7 here. And since we divided by negative, I need to flip my sign. So allow me to erase these here. So it's now greater than. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is just positive 1x. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. And again, I have to flip my sign because I divided by negative. Alright, so then when I write my answer in set builder notation, remember I want to put my smallest number on the left. Some of you guys did a good job. Remember that? Some of you forgot. So I want to put my smallest number on the left. So that means I'm taking the whole thing and turning it around. So I have 1. Again, the open mouth should be towards the x. So 1 is less than x, which is less than 7. Just basically read it from right to left. 1 is less than x, which is less than 7. Alright, so that's what we use for set builder notation.
Think of it like it's on a piece of paper and just rotates. And everything's backwards.
Alright, so for set builder notation, you guys did pretty good with this. Some of you forgot to write it, but you did much better than last time. So x, vertical line, and then you just put in your inequality. 1 is less than x, which is less than 7. I saw a handful of you had an extra x right here. That's not necessary, just x vertical line and then your inequality. And then let's go ahead and graph this. So on our number line, this is an and, so I should expect to see it looks like a sandwich with endpoints. Alright, so I have 0, there's 1, 7. Again, make sure you label these. Almost everyone did label your number line properly, so very good job with that. And what type of circles are we going to have here? Open, yeah, and you guys did a really good job with that as well. So open circles, and then x is everything between 1 and 7, so everything between here. So 1 is the smallest number, then x and 7. So that's your answer. Any questions on that one? Again, the most common mistake I saw was that you guys were trying to take whatever was on the left side and do that to everything. We're trying to get rid of everything in the middle except for x. Alright, number 2. We have an or statement here, which means our answer should see arrows going in opposite directions. We want to solve these separately. And I really like what Drew did when he was solving these. To help him keep it all organized, he kind of did a squiggle like this, so that way he didn't mess up what he was doing between these two equations, or inequalities. Because some of you multiplied by 3 all the way through. So I like that he did this little squiggle here to kind of separate them. Right? And then you can still do your line through the inequality if that helps you out. So for number 2, we are solving these separately. So what's my first step here to get x by itself? Adriana, what do you think is my first step here to get x by itself? Yeah, very good. Add 3. Remember, we add and subtract before we multiply, divide when we're solving. Alright, so when we add that 3, then I have 1/3 x. Those cancel, so still greater than or equal to, and 4 plus 3 is 7. Alright, Jason Velasco, what do you think we're going to do to get rid of my 1/3?
Divide.
We could divide by 1/3. I saw some of you guys did that. What else could we do?
2 times 3 over 1.
Yeah, we can multiply it by 3 instead. I like doing that. That seems simpler. It's fine if you divide by 1/3. Make sure you put that in parentheses in your calculators. Some of you guys divide by 1/3 and did it great, but others got the wrong answer. So I'm thinking it maybe you forgot your parentheses. So multiply by 3 over 1, which is just 3. So those reduce to 1. So I have x is greater than 21, greater than or equal to.
The reason we can divide by 1/3 is because we're pretending like it's a whole unit. But in order to pretend like it's a whole unit, we have to put it in parentheses. So you cannot follow that method without parentheses.
Anytime you use those fractions, you must use parentheses. Alright, now let's solve our other one over here. So what is my first step to get x by itself over here? Good, subtract 7. And you guys did pretty good with this as well. You guys did pretty good with that. And then we have this cancel. So I have negative x is greater than negative 11. Now some of you guys lost your negative here. Great, so what am I going to do to get rid of that negative from the x? Very good. So now we're going to divide by negative 1. And what must we do anytime we multiply or divide by negative? Flip the sign. So now I have positive x is negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1x. And then positive 11. And I am missing one crucial piece to my answer here. What am I missing? Or, yes. Some of you guys forgot that very important word, or. So when we write this in set builder notation, we can write it just as one set builder. X such that x is less than 11. We like to go smallest number on the left. Or x is greater than or equal to 21. And you guys did actually pretty well with this problem. Okay, and now let's go and graph it. And right. What type of circle do I want on my 11?
An open.
Yeah, very good. And Philip, what type of circle do I want on my 21? Good. And this is an or statement, so we should see them go in opposite directions. Also, x is less than 11, so everything less than is to the left of it. X is greater than or equal to 21, so everything to the right. That's your answer. So, again, a lot of you guys were close on a lot of these answers. You just maybe made an arithmetic mistake, or maybe you added 7 to both sides, or you might have tried multiplying by 3 first. Questions on this? Okay. So let's go and take a look at your homework questions you have on that. The plan for today, today is more practice with graphing / review, because you do have your test next class. It's a very short unit. So we're going to go over homework questions, then you'll take your mini quiz, and then you'll do a little bit more practice with graphing, and then we have a couple review activities that you'll do as well. So make sure if you have questions on homework, you ask it now. So we went ahead and we subtracted our 3x from both sides, started off with this problem here that we're going to graph. And now we are dividing by -2. And as I was saying, the little alarm should go off, because when we divide by a negative, that means that we have to flip our sign. Right, so that reduces down to 1y. Flip our sign, and then we got to do I-part division. So this becomes a positive 3/2 x, and this becomes -half. So this is the line we're going to be graphing. So again, we're graphing it just like it was an equation, but now we are doing shading with it. All right, my y-intercept is -5, so I go down to -5. My slope is 3/2, so that means I go up 1, 2, 3, to the right 1, 2. So this will be my slope there. And let's do another one. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. Up 1, 2, 3 over 2. 1, 2, 3 over 2. And keep on going. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. Okay. So now we have to decide what type of line and what type of shading. Is this a solid or dotted? Good. It's a solid line because we have the or equal to. So this is a solid line. And let's see how well I can do with that.
Remember, guys, these ones especially, you want a straight edge when you draw your line.
Yes.
I have a ton of rulers back here. You're welcome to come back and get one, or you can take the back calculator like I showed you guys. But these really need straight edges.
Alright, and then we need to decide our shading. So let's use 0, 0. That's not on my line, so that's a nice easy point. So my test point, let's just use 0, 0. So when I put 0 into my original equation, and we go back to our original so that if you made a mistake somewhere, you don't keep getting it wrong. Alright, so my original equation was 3x minus 2y is less than or equal to 10. So I'm taking 0, 0 and putting it in. So 3 times 0 minus 2 times 0 is less than or equal to 10. What's 3 times 0? And what's 2 times 0? And what is 0 minus 0? And is 0 less than or equal to 10? 0? Less than 10?
Yeah.
If you have 10 cookies and I have 0 cookies, who has less? 0. 0 is indeed less than or equal to 10. So that means that this is a solution. It worked. So we shade that part of our graph. And guys, you don't have to go crazy with the shading.
There's no need to make that part of your graph flat. I've seen people do it. It is
Please don't. Please don't.
It wastes your time and it makes your thing great.
Okay. Any questions on that? Alright, go and clear off your desk. We'll take the mini quiz. Again, just graph it like a regular equation and then do your shape. Alright, let's take a look at these graphing ones. Give you a little bit more practice. Again, your test is next class. So if you're struggling with these concepts, make sure you ask questions now. Come see us before next class.
Way after school, we're here.
Alright, number 1, we see y is greater than -2. When we see only a y or only an x, we should think of 2 acronyms. What are those? Good, Bucks and Hoy. Alright, so we see it's just a y, so we know it's going to be a horizontal line. And it's at -2. So I want to go on my graph to where y is -2. which is right there. I'm going to have a horizontal line going through there. Now, is this a dotted or a solid line? Dotted. Oh, good. So there's my dotted line. All right. Yeah. Okay, so y is greater than -2. So if I take the test point 0, 0 and put it in, I end up getting 0 is greater than -2. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. 0 is larger than any negative number. So that means I'm going to shade which side? Above or below? Above. Good, where the 0 is. Because 0, 0 is right here, so that needs to be in the shaded area. Good. All right, let's take a look at number 6. We have 2x plus y is greater than 2. So we got to do a little bit of solving. How do I get y by itself? Good, subtract 2x from both sides. Those cancel, so I get y is greater than -2x plus 2. All right, let's go and graph this. So we have a y-intercept of 2. My slope is -2, so same thing as -2/1. So down 1, 2 to the right one, down 1, 2 over 1, down 1, 2 over 1, or up 2 to the left. All right, dotted or solid here? Dotted, there's no or equal to, so this is a dotted line. And again, 0, 0 is not on my line, so I can use that as a test point. If I put 0 back into my original equation, back into this guy, I get 2 times 0 plus 0 is greater than 2. Right, 2 times 0 is 0. What's 0 plus 0? 0. Is 0 greater than 2? If you have 0 cookies and I have 2 cookies, do you have more cookies?
Yeah.
No. 0 is not greater than 2. So which side are we going to shade? Which side are we going to shade then?
The one side.
The one that's above it-ish to the right? Because that does not include my 0, 0. 0, 0 was not a solution. So I do not shade 0, 0. 0, 0 was not a solution, so I do not shade 0, 0. All right, number 8. Gabby, what do you think we do to get y by itself? All alone on the left side?
Oh,
Very good. Add 3x. So add 3x to both sides. Those cancel. So I'm going to write it over here. I have y is greater than 3x plus 9. Now the graph isn't quite big enough, so we're going to have to use a different scale. We typically will give you graphs that are large enough, though. So let's make this go by 3s, so that this is 3, 6, 9. Now, our graphs we give you, there'll be enough room for you just to individually. Alright, so my y-intercept is at 9. And then my slope is up 3 over 1. But remember, each block represents 3. So up 3 is actually just up 1 block over 1. And it's kind of confusing. Don't need to really worry about that. We'll give you ones where there's enough space. Drew, is this going to be a dotted or a solid? This one right here. Dotted? Don't mess them up. It is a dotted line because it does not have the or equal to. Okay, let's test the point in 0, 0. If I put 0 in, I get 0 plus 0 greater than 9. Is 0 greater than 9? No. So 0, 0 is not a solution, so we do not shade it. We shade over here. Whoa. So let's do number 12. And then I have a follow-up question. Zoom in. Oh, so much better to see. All right, number 12. So we have negative 4x plus 2y is less than or equal to 12. Jason lost, that's going to be my first day. Rethink your actions.
Subtract no, add.
Add what?
Add the fraction, so you just have the 2y right, so like that.
I think you're thinking the right thing, but you said the word fraction. I don't know that I see a fraction. What do we want to add? Good. So we want to add 4x, because it's currently negative, so we want to add it to both sides. So I have 2y is less than or equal to 4x plus 12. And then, Drew, what do I do after that? Good. Divide by 2. Alright, so we have y is less than or equal to 2x plus 6. Alright, so let's craft this guy. So 6 is my intercept. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. My slope is 2, so up 2 over 1. Alright, Jonathan. I haven't picked on you yet today. Is this a solid or dotted line? Very good. Solid. Pretend that went through those dots. What? Alright, and let's test your point 0, 0. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 12?
Yeah.
Yay! So we finally get to shade this side. 0, 0 is a solution, so we do shade that side.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, questions on that? Alright, so now we're going to do some review practice for your test next class. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and get our notebooks put together. So, in your notebook, we should have the following. Your assignment page.
Guys, there was 2 pages we did before break. One had a snowflake, one had a snowman. You have it in your notebook. You will get credit for it. So please have it.
Can I get 4 and
Yeah,
5?
one has a snowman on top, one has snowflake.
Can I get 4?
You can put them before your exam sheet or after it. I really don't.
We're gonna do better than that? Could we have a 7?
Let me get a shot with that.
Easily found.
Could we have a 7?
It's a hard, I mean, yeah, it's a hard spot.
Yeah, 7 was yesterday's.
I don't have a snowflake.
You have class yesterday?
I might put it away.
Okay. So we should have our green worksheet, or our green assignment sheet.
Oh, yeah.
That's first. If you need one,
This one?
here's an extra. So if you have these snowman and snowflake ones from before break, include that, because that could get you a little bit of extra points for your notebook.
Oh, sorry.
And they are on Blackboard. If you want to print them off, then do them.
So snowflake and snowman.
Can't print stuff.
This is a snowman there. Right?
Why'd you give me this?
For what?
Alright, so green assignment sheet.
Finish it all, you get the full extra credit. You only tell us you get a few credits. So it's not necessarily
Then we had number 1. Looks like this. We're putting these together now, guys, so you don't have to worry about losing points for next class. So you should have all your stuff out, putting your notebook together right now.
Did you give me the number?
Not yet. Not yet. When I say 4, then I'll have it. Alright, so number 1. Then we should have number 2. We try to make it so easy for you. Just stapled. Stapled. Then we have number 3. Another stapled one. And next up is number 4. Looks like this. It says compound inequalities notes.
And then we give them 5.
Why don't we give you 5?
We'll do it during the stickers. Alright, number 5 you do not have. We will be doing that during the stinger coming up.
And then
Remember, you can have it in whichever order you want, whether it's ascending or descending, meaning it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, or it could be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and so forth. Just make sure it is in order in one of those ways.
Alright, the number 6. Compound inequalities homework. Number 6. And last class notes and homework, number 7. Worksheet 7. Yes.
Finish number 7 in class.
I do have 4.
I'd say pick 2 more problems. Just pick 2 more problems and do it.
That's
We got
Do you have an
8,
answer key for the
4 problems
questions?
total on
Not the
7.
questions, notes.
And the note.
Yeah, it's all open black.
I have
So on 7.
And I also have a
you
copy
the
here,
note
so if you want to
part
come in
and
sometime and
4
copy.
problems
Sometimes
total
see that
done,
now.
you're good.
Pull out whichever page it is so I know.
I
what to
have
give
a
you.
problem on the board, so you remember. Can you write down underneath 4 as a total?
Number really to have what? Number 4?
Number 7, sorry.
Oh.
I was thinking 4 problems. Which should be 4 problems total and all the notes.
No 4 total.
And all the notes.
Alright, and then after 7 was last night's homework number 8.
Can I get 7?
Here, look. That's what you're gonna get today. That's your like review. Oh wait. Oh, number 9. No, you only see the ones we did last. Number 8, your homework last night.
Then number 9.
Number 9 is what you just did in class. You just need those 4 problems done that we did. If you do more, great.
Number 7, like, that's all the stuff that, like, I don't.
Number 7 notes. And then today you are getting today you're getting worksheet 10. That is your review packet to review for the test. So these are the ones that you should have in your notebook. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm passing out the reviews right now. Alright, so again, worksheet 10, that is your homework for next class. And we're actually going to go and do some of it right now together. Let me get you 7.
Are you really groaning about being a chance to play in the electric class?
No, just playing.
Thank you for that. Oh wait, you guys don't see what's going on. Okay, so taking a look at your review packet. Alright, so you guys said 15, 14, 15. Oh, 15 with the justifications, yeah. Alright, so number 15 in your review packet.
What is this? It's not like what we do.
Alright, so it says solve each inequality and use properties to justify your steps. So -7 is less than -2c plus 5. These ones aren't bad. All you have to do is state what you just did. Alright, so Kevin Granados, what's my first step? Thank you, Elroy. Kevin Granados, you're going to tell me the next step. Alright, so we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And what did we just do? Subtracted. So my first step is subtraction property of equality. Subtraction property what? Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I meant, inequality. Thank you. Subtraction property of inequalities. You can abbreviate that. Right, so we got
Your abbreviation thing.
-12 less than -2c. Alright, now Kevin Granados, what would be my next step? Kevin Granados, what would be my next step? Good, divide by -2. Alright, and what did I just do? I divided. So this is our division property of inequality. But what type of thing did we divide by? Good, for negative numbers.
I don't think I have enough space for all this.
And we have to specify for negative numbers because what do we do when we divide by negative? Alright, so that means we have then +6, flip my sign, +c. But am I done?
Yeah.
We are? This is why I wrote number 15. I need to get us a C's on the left side. So I flip the entire thing around.
See the thing over and see.
And does anyone remember what this property is called? Symmetric, yeah. Symmetric property. Symmetric property. Yes. Very good. Alright, I think I heard 21 or 22.
And no,
No?
25 and 26.
Ah, yes, word problems. Let's see if it's brought it up yet.
But,
Yes.
so,
Alright, so let's take a look at 25, 26. Which one do you want to do, 25 or 26?
well,
About 25. We don't have time for both. You gotta do some.
I think this not.
Good. All right, so number 5, it says a water park charges $32 per person for admission and $6 for parking. Write an inequality that represents the possible number of people that could go to this water park for $166. What is the maximum number of people that could go?
Like,
How do you know?
First time is not that long.
All right, how many times do we have to pay $32?
5.
5. Where do you see 5 anywhere?
It's 6.
No, 25.
$32 per person. So every time a person enters, you gotta pay $32.
why so
Why
much?
is it?
Because water parks are expensive.
Yeah, a lot of the cars have.
And then how many times do we have to pay parking?
1.
Just once. So 6 is all by itself. And it says, what's the possible number of people that can go to this water park for $166?
Equals
So the
to
amount I pay here has to be less than or equal to 166. I can't pay more than $166. You can't. They won't let you go into debt at the water park. Either you have the money or you don't.
What if you have $30?
When you could beg the person how much more money.
Yeah, we might go find a penny on it. All right, so here's my inequality. So notice there are 2 parts. Write an inequality. So that's one step. That's one. You're gonna get points just for writing your inequality. All right, so then it says, what is the maximum number of people that could go? So now we just solve. So subtract 6 from both sides. 32x is less than or equal to 160.
and then you divide by 32.
Very good.
Wait, you're going so slow.
That's 160 divided by 32.
You know you have.
5.
Yeah, no.
Very good. 5. So what's the maximum number of people that could go?
5.
5, right. So they ask you what is the maximum, so you need to actually answer that. You can't just leave it here. Maximum of 5 people. Maximum of 5 people. Done. Did I just hear someone say All right, what other ones do you guys want to look at? You guys want to do 27?
23.
27.
Oh yeah, 27.
Yes, miss.
Let's do 27 together,
And then
because that's a pretty big one.
we struggle.
All right, number 27. It says you have $16 to spend on fruit for a meeting. Apples cost $5 a pound, and oranges cost $4 per pound. Let X represent the number of pounds of apples you can buy, and Y be the number of pounds of oranges. I love it when they tell us what variables to use. All right, so a total of $16 to spend. So that's my total amount. What variable represents apples? Right, it says X represents apples. And what represents oranges?
Why?
Okay. Alright. Write an inequality to represent the amount of apples and oranges you can buy. Alright, so $5 per pound of apples. How am I going to write that in my equation?
5.
Good. And the cost of apples and the cost of oranges, we're going to add those together. And oranges are $4 per pound. How do I write that?
For one.
Good, 4Y. And what's the total amount I can spend?
16.
16. Now, this is how much it costs. That has to be less than or equal to 16. Alright? You cannot spend more than the amount of money you have. They will take back their apples. Okay, so then B says, solve the inequality for Y. So let's do that. I'm going to rewrite this.
Add subtract 5 x 5.
Good. So translating what Gabby said, subtract 5x because we want to get y all by itself. So we have 4y is less than or equal to negative 5x plus 16. And Gerardo, I don't think I've picked on you yet today. What do I do next to get y by itself? Divide by 4. So I have y is less than or equal to negative 5/4 x plus 4. So there's my inequality. Oh, look, we get to graph it now. My favorite part. Natalie, what's my y-intercept?
So,
4.
4. Yeah, my y-intercept is 4. Plot that. And my slope is negative 5/4. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1, 2, 3, 4.
Why?
Remember your negative slope should go down. It should go to. Alright, solid or dotted? Solid, yeah. Solid, we have the or equal to. So we should have a solid line. Alright, let's test the point 0, 0.
No, it's not.
5 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 16?
No. Yes. Or no.
yeah.
If you have 0 cookies and I have 16 cookies, do you have less than I do? Yes. So this worked. 0, 0 is a solution, so I want to shade that stuff.
Guys, while I'm grading some of these quizzes, please remember, I know these aren't your classes, but I still have seen you guys make this mistake. If your ors, if it's an or, and you do not have 2 lines going in opposite directions, you need to check your work. And if it's an and it doesn't look like a sandwich, you need to check your work.
Alright, so test next class. Come see us if you have questions before then. Come to class prepared for the test. Worksheet 10 is due next class.
I get it.